In this video, I'm going to go over how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide with positive and negative decimals. So when you see adding and subtracting with negatives, I always try to make a scoreboard. And when you make a scoreboard, make sure you line up the decimals. Because when you add and subtract decimals, you have to line them up. So the answer I get here is negatives win by 9.15. All right, over here, when there's double signs, you want to fix those before you get to your scoreboard. So let's go ahead and make our scoreboard. Positives win, so my answer should be positive. I still have to subtract to find out by how much. Whenever there's a gap over here, you need to add a 0. Just make sure your decimals are lined up before you start the problem. I have to borrow. So my answer is positives win. So my answer is positive 27.62. All right. Over here, be careful. It's really easy to mess this one up because your brain wants to do 5 minus 1.18. But if you look at a scoreboard, the negatives win. So my answer has to be negative. So you do want to subtract, but remember that your answer at the end has to be negative. So my answer is going to be negative 3.82. All right. Now let's go on to multiplying and dividing. When you multiply and divide, you just multiply and divide like normal and then decide your sign at the end. Add. Okay, see how there's 2 numbers behind the decimal in the factors? So there has to be 2 numbers behind the decimal in my product. And since I have a negative times a negative, my answer is going to be positive 10.35. All right, and now over here, I divide like normal, and then I think about my sign at the end. Remember that your divisor can't be a decimal, it has to be a whole number. So I move my decimal over once, move my decimal over once, move my decimal over to the top. So I'm really doing how many times does 18 go into 100.8? Now you might be like me and you might not know your 18 facts really well. So to the side, sometimes I just quickly jot down the multiples so that makes long division really easy for me. Okay, now I'm ready to start. So how many times does 18 go into 100? 5 times. Because 5 times 18 is 90. How many times does 18 go into 108? 6 times. Because 6 times 18 is 108. And then finally I double check my sign. Since this is a positive divided by a negative, my answer is going to be negative 5.6. All right, please see me if you have any extra questions.